Alright, so, Spy Kids 2, Island of Lost Dreams. So the story here is that a villain is after the Transmooker device. And so, Junie and Carmen Cortez, they find that it's linked to an island. They basically take the assignment of another couple of kid agents. So I do remember we did rent this, and I did watch this before the third one, but I didn't remember the ending, like when I went to watch the third one. So yes, I do remember we did watch this because I remember being pissed. Because there were now two other Spy Kids. Gary and Gertie. I hate them. At least in this film, I hate them. Look. Because, okay, so the whole thing about the first film was that, you know, we got attached to these characters. They are the Spy Kids. That was the thing. These two kids are the Spy Kids. So, in theory, there shouldn't be any more. But now, the OSS has a Spy Kids division, which means it's not just the two Spy Kids from the first one. I mean, the name of the Spy Kids was the robots. That was the name. Was Spy Kids. That was the robots that Floop made in the first one. So now, all of a sudden, they got a Kids division, and it's called Spy Kids. We have Gary and Gertie, who are Donegan's children from the first one. And, spoilers, of course, Donegan's the bad guy in this one. So, once again, I have to point this out. Not once again, but I have to point this out. If they had not saved Donegan, he would not be here to be the villain. So, in essence, they done screwed themselves over. Donegan is the villain, despite the fact that they saved his life. Now he's a bad guy. And if you're not a total fucking idiot, you could figure it out from the beginning. Because the president, I still don't know if George Clooney was supposed to be the president in the first one. I would look it up. But all of a sudden he's now played by Christopher McDonald. You may know from Grace 2 or Happy Madison. You know, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit like for breakfast? No? That guy. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? No? Yeah. Shooter McGavin. He's the president. And he goes to name the new boss for the OSS, the new director of the OSS, and it comes up on the screen, Gregorio Cortez, but stops in the middle of Cortez, but I'll explain why I keep doing that, and changes to Donegan Giggles. And all he does is just Donegan Giggles, reads it off. But no, it was reading off a different name. I understand that there may have been a, you know, like he could think, oh, it was a mess up. But you still need to ask the questions. How come it said Gregorio Cortez before that? No, you don't just kind of, oh. And then when he goes to accept it, all the adults pass out because there was something in the champagne. But then why didn't they do something to the kids' drinks? Because the kids are also trained spies. It makes no sense. And being as we know that it was Donegan who was behind it all, he would know that the kids are trained spies. So it makes no sense why the kids' drinks weren't also spiked. Also, the main reason I hate Gary and Gertie, well, more so Gary, because Gertie in the end, they blindly do what their father does without even questioning it. At least until Carmen does something. Because, like, when they get there, like when Donegan gets there and it's revealed, oh, he's the bad guy. Of course he is, and then like they take the transmuker and she throws it up, and the spork grabs it. I'll get to that in a minute. You know, and because Carmen and Gertie were taken to the nest, you know, they're like, oh, it would take it to its nest. And Carmen's like, and Gertie's just like, I know where it is, Dad. Like, you little bitch. But it does turn out that she does turn on her dad in the end. What do I mean by a spork? I don't mean a giant freaking utensil came in and swooped and took it. No. We meet Dr. Romero, played by Steve Buscemi, and he has created these creatures. The first one was accidental, but now he's created these creatures on this island. There's a spider monkey, which is literally a monkey with spider legs. There's a bullfrog, spork, which is I don't know, pork. I don't know. It's a pig with wings. That's all I know. Swan pork. I don't know. And what are some of the other ones they're naming off? Spider monkey, slizzard, snake and a lizard. Yeah, and this Island of Lost Dreams, it's a pretty cool, you know, scene. The transmuter device, it stops all other devices from working. So none of their gadgets work when they get there. And then once they turn it off, which it's very confusing. You have to activate it to turn it off. Like, you put on all the switches and the activation transmuter, then you gotta put them all back up and somehow make it so they tie together, and then it turns it off. That is the most complicated thing in your life. Now, I could see maybe, you know, if he was more villainous, to stop it you must turn on, but Romero's just a doofy scientist. I mean, he accidentally created these giant creatures, and he realizes that they're all friendly in the end. You know? But Gertie does turn on her father. See, I got a wart right there. See? Junie Cortez. And, yeah. She makes the transmuter device go poof, poof. And you go, oh, well, Mom's gonna find out. And you say, oh, don't tell your mother. And there's a subplot where Ingrid, that's the mom, her parents show up. They're played by Holland Taylor and Ricardo Montalban. And they are disapproving. They never approved of their marriage. And this leads to one of the most frustrating scenes. So Carmen realizes that this whole thing may be a trap to get them and their parents in the same place at the same time. So, being that she knows that there are trackers in their teeth, she pulls Junie's out and then has Junie pull her out. No blood. Fucking tooth. I know there's blood when you pull it out. I know, it's a kid's movie, no blood. Well, you know, I'm just saying, it wouldn't come out clean like that. If it did, it would be easier for dentists. You know, just okay, you can go now. No. Hold that. You know? I'm just saying. But, yeah. And they smash them, so they can't track them. Only for then, because it's like someone's writing, oh, they smashed the tracker, so they can't find them. We still need them to find them. The grandpa put a tracker in Junie's necklace. Just don't have them smash the trackers. It really makes no sense. Why they haven't smashed the tracker just to then, you know, Ricardo Montalban. Oh, but I put the tracker in Junie's necklace. I don't know if that's Ricardo Montalban or Dracula. A little bit of both. But yes, he's like, and then when they get there, they're like, never ever take this off. And I'm just like, okay. But I do think it's funny when they show up, they're like, no! Because they didn't want them to find them. But, yeah. And there's one I did kind of tear up on. When Gregorio, he jumps in the way because he thinks that his in-laws are going to be destroyed by the Transmooker, but it goes poof. And then they're like, you saved us. Why? And he's like, he puts his hand out and he kind of shakes Ricardo Montalban's hand. And he goes, because you're a family. And that's when I kind of cheered up. I'm like, aw. Because they were arguing almost the whole movie. And because you were family. And then Gregorio is made the new director of the OSS, which I'm not sure if it's carried on in the next one. The next one kind of moves away from the parents and everything until the end. So, I don't know. But yeah, he's made director. Gary is disavowed. Gertie isn't because she actually, you know, chose the right side. But Gary is disavowed by the fact that by the next one, he's not anymore. And Donegan is fired. Despite the next one, he's not anymore. But there's the explanation. And why do I keep going Cortez? Well, I should have explained this in the first one. It's kind of a running joke with Floop. In the first one, he goes, Mr. and Mrs. Cortez. And then in this one, when he's talking, he's like, "Aw, Junie Cortez." So that's how I say it. Cortez. Junie Cortez. We do get cameos from Floop and Minion, who reveals that Donegan's the big bad guy, which, if you knew he was a bad guy, then why didn't you say it? Because you're basically a good guy now. Oh, by the way, Donegan's actually a bad guy, so don't let him around any of your gadgets, and don't make him the head of OSS because he's a bad guy. Nope. Didn't say anything. Nothing at all. Nothing. I understand, Minion, you were a bad guy once, but you seem like an outstanding guy now, and even in the next one, you're one of the good guys, so a little warning, please. I'm just saying, a little warning, please. And one of the main reasons I don't like Gary and Gertie is they cause this kind of effect on the characters. Like, oh, we have to bring in these new characters. We have to make sure that because their father's the head of OSS, they get the best gadgets, they get the best missions, they get everything better than our characters because we gotta build that character bridge of, oh, we can do, have our characters do, have to deal with it with bare bones mostly. Just give him gadgets. James Bond had good gadgets, and he still had some times when he got his butt kicked, You're not perfect. But now let's get to the biggest problem I have with this film, and that's kind of the biggest problem I have with the first film, and that's Junie. So, Junie is learning what it's like to be a spy. That there's lying involved, because you're a spy. You have to lie. And in the end, he's given level 1 clearance by the president's daughter, who's played by Taylor Momsen, by the way, who was also in the Grinch movie. And he says, no, I'm quitting the OSS because I know now what it takes to be a spy, and I don't want to do that. What? Okay, so you thought it was cool when you found out your parents were spies, but now that you know that it has to do with lying, oh, lying is bad, so I don't want to be a spy if I have to lie. Motherfucker, just... It just... lying is a big part of being a spy. Deal with it. Don't be a little bitch and whine and complain because you have to lie. I know a lot of it has to do with Donegan lying about being the bad guy and stuff, but come on. it's never clicked with me. It's like this. It's not clicking. It's not fitting in there. It's just like because it just does not make any sense to me. How he now after this adventure figures out that lying is a big part of being a spy, and that he doesn't want to do that. You should have known from the beginning that lying had to do with it. It makes no sense to me. Do you see what I'm getting here? You see what I'm getting at? Makes no sense. That being said, I do like Ralph. His little thing that gets smushed later, but we don't see it I don't think we see it in the third one. Maybe we do. I don't know. But it's a really cool little thing, and they do it with the camera where they follow it. That's kind of cool. What they do with the special effects in this, most like the first one, still pretty good. Robert Rodriguez knows how to do this stuff. It's very good. The one thing you can say about these films, the special effects are actually pretty good. Wow, that third one has a little more wacky because of the 3D angle, but yeah, it's fine. So Spy Kids 2, Island of Lost Dreams. I'm gonna give it a 7. Giving it a 7. 2 marks down from less. I get the last one a 9 because that was really good. This one going down gets a 7. It gets a 7. It just there's a lot of things that rub me the wrong way. It just didn't work. But it's still a 7, so it's still pretty good. It's just lower than the first one. So what are your thoughts on Spy Kids 2, Island of Lost Dreams? Gotta say it like Ricardo Montemanga's Island. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one. And I hope you love me like you say you do. Little Huey Lewis. I was supposed to push the button before I said that. Never mind.